Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. As you can see, as we said, Virgin Galactic would pump today. It started pumping from when we posted our first videos just a couple of days ago. In fact, it was yesterday, wasn't it? And the moment we said that the videos are going to come out, we are going to go up. And we did, and we've been going up ever since. And in fact, exactly at the moment that I went live, it started to go up again. I apologize for being 20 minutes late today. I'm not actually late. I rescheduled the show. But I did that because I am in conversation now with lots of the investors we used to talk to. The big investors, you may remember many of those. At one point, we assembled 95% of the world's retail investors to Virgin Galactic. I can already confirm to you, if you go into incognito mode on YouTube and you type in SPCE stock, we're number one after just 1 day of getting back. See how it's going up again? Look, it's great. Also, the SPE stock, Virgin Galactic stock. The hardest thing to rank for is Virgin Galactic, because obviously Virgin Galactic themselves have their own YouTube channel and their own website, and obviously a lot of people will just go directly to the source. However, we're competing now with them. I've just gone into incognito mode on YouTube, and these are the results. You're going to be very, very impressed with our channel here and our family. Type in here at the top, Virgin Galactic, incognito mode, so it tells me who ranks for that search term. Who ranks for that? Well, look at this. You'll be very impressed. We're number 3. Virgin Galactic, with nearly 300,000 subscribers, is number 1. Well, you'd expect that, wouldn't you? Right? NBC, with 11 million subscribers, is number 2. You'd expect that. Also, maybe even number 1, really, perhaps. But Martyn Lucas Investor, with 61,000 subscribers, and we are 3rd. All right? That's pretty good, okay? However, my mission isn't to be 3rd. It isn't to be 2nd. It's to be number 1. And I know how to do that and how to get there. Push Virgin Galactic off their own search term for their own business. I can make that happen. The Lucasades can make that happen. And it's actually already beginning. There it is. The moment I went live, the second I went live, the stock is going up again. Now, there's reason for this, because it's why I started the show later today. I'm talking to a lot of investors, the biggest investors for Virgin Galactic. They're following me. The moment we made the videos, they started buying. And they're also trying to help as well, show strength to Eric Kearney about the family. So when I make statements like this, they buy. And I can tell you there are big retail investors now buying as I'm speaking, hence why it's going up. This is not a coincidence. This is not an illusion. This isn't magic. This is people trying now to stuff it to Virgin Galactic, Eric Kearney and the like, to say we are here, we can move this, and we are moving this. Now, once again, I just want to remind everybody as this happens, okay, if you look at my portfolio, I do not have a single share in SPCE. So that's difficult for me because I'm not making any money on it whatsoever, and it's a very, very small stock. Not many people are watching. So currently, I am looking for sponsors who are viewers. Not Virgin Galactic, of course, but sponsors who are viewers to support these shows, because now I'm losing money. Because if I went today and did NVIDIA or XRP or many other things like SoundHound, Gorilla, the list goes on and on and on, I get 10 times, 100 times the views. So I'm actually losing money doing this now, but I'm trying to help people, and I'm trying to make a point that we are a force, we can do this. But even though the stock is going up, which is great, I'm not getting the views here. And this is just, this is just me trying to do something, to support my members. But I can't just, do shows to nobody because obviously I'll go out of business. All right. we've got our lowest ever numbers right now. Look at this. 43 watching. I mean, it's like nothing at all. I'd be at 200 now, 300, 400, 500. I'm at 43. Sadly, not enough people are watching. They are buying. They don't need to watch me on YouTube. Those that are supporting me, those that I was speaking to earlier, have been buying, and that's it. They're not sat here watching on YouTube. They're just buying the stock because now it's getting momentum. Now it's being talked about. However, that's all very well and good, but I can't continue like this with 43 people watching every day. It's just not going to work at all. So unless I can find some sponsors that are viewers to this, I'm going to have to stop doing it. It was okay when I started out, but now I have responsibilities. I pay bills now. This show is how I pay bills, so I can't make videos with nobody watching. Anyway, there's Virgin Galactic. It has gone up again today. We are gaining momentum. We are gaining volume. If you didn't watch earlier, I put out a full analysis. Go and check that out. You might find that useful. And also what we're doing as well. But again, this might not continue very long. It depends. It's all very well the stock go up and short squeeze and everybody makes money, but if no one's watching the videos, I'll just, I won't be able to pay my bills, will I? On the extra channel, we are going 24 hours a day with the live pumping 24/7 watch. This is for Virgin Galactic 24/7 watch. So I'm basically restreaming the playlist. So all the news that comes out will go to the top and you can watch the Virgin Galactic playlist. And the idea of this is to keep it going, keep people talking about it. But again, if people are just investing quietly on their own, but they're not actually watching the videos, there really isn't any, unless I was roaring kitty and pumping my own stock, then that would be fine. But I'm not in this. I'm just going to be working for free. So I can't keep doing that. Anyway, there you go. That's an update on Virgin Galactic. Let's go into the comments. Let's see who's here. Let's have a look. I still think viable space tourism for Joe Public is decades away, says Bunga Bunga. Pump it up, says Jason. Well, like I said, I can't afford to do it. Nvidia jumped up nicely compared to how it started. Volume jumped up. Hopefully it continues. It's good. It was good news for Nvidia. It's now made them more accessible. More people are looking at this. It was a great day for Nvidia. People, remember I made the big video about it and was laughing, saying this is absolute comical. What's happening to Nvidia? And I was right, of course, on that one. There's no issue about it at all. And there you go. Leston Wynn, good morning to you. Yep, on the other hand, Lambridge is down. Get to the chopper. Indeed. Buffering, I've no why. I can't control your internet. There's nothing wrong this end with the show. I can guarantee you all systems are fine. Sorry about that experience that you've got, but I'm sure it's to do with your internet, your end. All right, okay. I'm always monitoring the outputs and everything is always being checked all the time. James, good morning to you. Space is charging up, ready for takeoff. Yes, it is. It's going up again. Lucas Aid, smash the like button. Yes, indeed. Get to the chopper. Good evening, all. We are with you, Martin. We can do it. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate it. But remember, I'm not in the stock and not even people are really watching the videos. No one's really bothered about Virgin Galactic. So I'm with you, not you with me, really. Unless I bought the stock, which I could have done, but I don't want to pump and dump anything. Space rubbish, says Crag Finance Coach. Wouldn't touch it until it gets close to test flight dates. That's when it will move. Yeah, but that's very well and good. But we've got earnings around the corner. And we've got a short squeeze at over 30%. So all it needs is volume, which is why I threw myself at it, and it worked. So I understand your point of view, but you could miss out there. But buying more tomorrow, Ragnar Rocket. I'm watching. Hi, James. How you doing? Hi, Mike. Crag Finance. Stay humble. You talked to 20 to 40 people spring of last year. Quit whining. Quit whining? Okay, Doug. Okay, let's get rid of you. I'm not having you coming in saying stuff like that. So hide user. I'm not having someone come into my show and be rude like that. So there you go. We don't need you. You quit whining. You go and work. You go and do your job. You know, this is my show. I'll do what I like. And Doug, you're not welcome with comments like that. See you later. Hi, Craig. Good evening. Just bought 100 shares. Congratulations to you, Iberian. I bought some space. I'm up. Good luck to you, Iberian Wolf. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, Mike. How you doing? You buying this space, Mike? Nope, no way. Nice one, James, getting yesterday before the pump today. Crag, I got in yesterday. Good evening, Kent Paranormal. Good evening, Kent. How you doing? OSHA Edge 74. I see the announcement today, but was about 20 minutes after put news out. Want to catch something on the news to jump in for a scalp. Good luck. I wish you all the best. 13,100 shares. Ocean, good luck to you. You should consider being a member of our channel so you can share news. There's lots of members-only live streams, members-only videos, interviews, and so on and so forth, which you might want to be part of. I lost a lot of money on Virgin when they lost and then lost the rest Confisca. I know, I've been there myself. I've lost over $30,000 on the Virgin brand, not just Virgin Galactic, but Virgin Orbit. I'm right with you. I get it. However, I'm not making any money out of this. I'm not buying the stock. Just trying to bring my members the best information. Now bullish on Mobix AI is a money maker. Val says margin. No idea what that means. Are we doing pump and dump? Are we doing pump and dump? I don't know why you're asking me that, Marek. I don't own the stock, as you know, so how can I possibly do pump and dump? All right, there's all your questions answered. Well, it's going up again. No question about it. And remember as well why this is extra special today. If you're thinking, well, it's going up, well, whatever, you need to remind yourself of what actually is going on in the space world. This is what's going on in the space world. It's down today. Rocket Lab, a fantastic business. Why is it down? Because they borrow money like Virgin Galactic. Let's remind ourselves how good this pump is. And we have to take responsibility for it because the moment we made the videos, this happened. It didn't happen afterwards. I've not been talking to Virgin Galactic investors half the day today for a laugh. I've been doing it and they're buying. And I'm telling you, they're buying. Big investors are buying. I'm on the phone talking to them. This is what's happening with the market. Rocket Lab is down today because anybody that's borrowing money is having trouble right now because we've just had the FOMC report confirming it was a pause yesterday and there are no rate cuts. If there'd been a rate cut today, or sorry, yesterday, this would have been up double this. So this is actually really good. It should be down today like Rocket Lab, but it's not. It's up. So don't tell me that there's not something going on behind the scenes. I know because I'm on the phone doing it. I'm telling you, there's stuff going on. Simple as that. Anyway, hello, throat hurts, but I'm good. Northern Tree Guy, I'm glad to hear that you are well. Northern Tree Guy, get yourself a tea with milk and honey to help your sore throat. He's right there, you know. He's dead right. Hopefully space goes well for all who invested. I am in the Mike boat. No, have whiskey. Don't listen to James. Yeah, Lestin Wynn is our expert on whiskey, and Mike and James is on tea. So we got both areas covered here. Bring the two together. That's what we need. Jamie just got out of hospital from an endo procedure. I'm very sorry to hear that. I remember you were telling me yesterday when we had our one-on-one, it was 2 days ago. Anyway, get in early while you can. 234. Well, it's already up massive since yesterday when we started doing all of this. Anyway, there you go. Let me come back to the main portfolio now. I need to make a video. So I'm going to change this to this. The United States. Here we go. Gonna go and put a video out, which I need to do. So let's have a look. The time is, what time is it? We've got Apple earnings in a minute. 14 minutes in. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I can grab this here, Sky News. I could use multiple places, but this will do just as well as anywhere else. Wonder which one I can use. Okay. Okay, let me scroll down a minute. There's something I want to say. Okay. I think the best way of doing this, I wonder if I've got the clip. There's so much to share with this. I don't know how I'm going to... which way should I go with this? Okay, I think I'm going to do it like this. Let me clear the tickers today, put some news out. We like to cover news when it's really significant. So this is something else. This is a whole different level. So let's have a quick look at this. Sometimes you feel absolutely compelled to say something. You are so moved by a story that you feel you just have to say something. So here is my something. Yesterday, or last night, however, rather, we experienced a terrible plane crash where a plane collided with a helicopter midair and everybody died. They crashed into the Potomac River, no survivors, and it was a tragic incident. Very, very sad, awful incident, particularly for the families, loved ones, relatives, and so on and so forth. But what followed just a couple of hours ago rocked me to the core, I have to say. I'm going to read out a statement here, but I am struggling to find the words how best to put it. So I'm just going to sort of say how I feel and see if you agree with me. I'm showing the red, white, and blue, the colors of the United States, for a good reason, and I'll come on to that in a moment. But let's just read this headline, and I'll give you my thoughts. Washington, D.C. plane crash. Trump claims confluence of bad decisions led to deadly crash, as investigators are giving update. Donald Trump has confirmed there are no survivors of a mid-air collision between an American Airlines passenger jet and a helicopter above Washington, D.C. But also he sought to exploit the crash politically as he attacked diversity, hiring, and Joe Biden, and so on. I'm not going to go on to the whole story. We could be here for hours, but I'm just giving you the headlines here. About an hour ago, I sat and watched live as the President of the United States of America gave a press conference, unlike any other conference I have ever heard in my life. And I've seen some press conferences, I think we all have, and I take note of the ones that are very emotional or dramatic or historical. But this one ranks right up there. And the reason why I'm showing the red, white and blue of the United Kingdom and also the United States is because we need to reflect here for a moment and realize what just happened. And what just happened has rocked to the core. And perfectly honest with you, I'm incredibly disappointed and shocked. A few moments ago, I was sat in the lounge and I was listening to a news conference by the President of the United States. He entered the newsroom and what could have been just a very solemn message, a terrible accident has just occurred. We send our prayers and thoughts to everybody. And of course, everyone concerned is involved in investigating the crash. That's it. That's all that needed to be said. The government will back and support whatever's necessary in that endeavor. That would have been presidential. That would have been what was expected, really. However, don't take my word for it. Go and watch it yourself. Donald Trump, and I want to repeat, I am completely impartial here. I'm not pro-Trump. I'm not against Trump. I'm a green card holder. I'm completely neutral. Just a regular guy sitting here listening and sharing my thoughts with you. That's it. Not here to try and upset people or make enemies or make friends. In fact, I'm just here to tell you the truth, what I saw. The whole presentation, the whole conference was basically a political weapon against the previous government. Now, of course, the previous government was the other government. It wasn't another Republican Party. It was the Democrat Party. And basically, Trump decided to blame the whole crash on Biden and Obama. Not the pilot or either pilot, not any error of machinery, but blame the government. Okay, maybe that's bad enough because many have just died and we're using it as a political base football. But that's not really the worst of it. What he said was because of diversified inclusion. You may understand what that's about. People have tried to give people with minorities or disabilities or whatever equal say in jobs and positions in government and wherever, and give everybody an equal playing field. Give everybody a chance. Now, I agree wholeheartedly. You should have the best people to do any job. I don't think I would ever hire someone just because of their race, color, height, age. I'm going to hire the best people. Obviously, this isn't up for discussion, is it? Any employer is going to hire the best people. However, why are we even having that conversation? There's been no investigation done. The people that know about planes and helicopters and crashes haven't yet had the investigation. There's been no conversation. They don't know anything yet. They are gathering the facts. However, Donald Trump said the reason why there was a crash was because of the low standards of allowing people who aren't perfect people, who aren't superior people. And these are the words he used. Wow, I couldn't believe it. He even used the word, and I'm going to use it on the show. I'm going to say it, but obviously I'm not the president, so I can be a bit more free to say what I want. But the previous politician was basically talking bullshit. He actually said that. He actually swore on the podium to the world and said bullshit. Wow. And basically what he said was, even though there's been no evidence whatsoever, the plane crashed, possibly afterwards. Well, possibly. So you're throwing out accusations before there's been anything, and then we're saying, well, maybe, this isn't This isn't your chance to poke at anybody. This isn't your chance to put people down. But essentially what he said, the plane crash was caused by diversification. People that were hired just because of their race, just because he even mentioned people that didn't have arms and legs and people that had epilepsy and all kinds of stuff. They were hired just because of that, and they're the people that were in charge of the plane. None of this is based on facts at all. It's just, let's have a go at minorities. Let's have a go at anybody who hasn't got a voice, and let's try and trash the previous government. I have never in my life, and I am completely impartial. I'm from Britain. I'm a green card holder, but I have never in my life heard something so flipping disgusting as that. I have got lots of video, historic video of Adolf Hitler giving very similar speeches like this, where you can be all gentlemanly and nice and everyone's best friend, but you're letting everybody know that you don't like a certain race or a certain type of person. And you're doing it as the leader of the free world. I was absolutely blown away. And I said, Leah, come in and listen to this. What do you think? And I am shocked to the core. And I'm actually quite disgusted today to be in America with the president talking like that. And then you may notice what he did. He invited other people onto the stage to join him. And everyone praised him. Before they spoke, everyone praised him. And I did some research, and this is the new order of things. They have to do that. So they're coming on telling everybody, you're great, you're amazing, fantastic, and then backing up because of your leadership, and so on and so forth. I am rocked to the core today. I have never heard anything so terrible and so discriminative and so rude and so horrible, quite frankly, just plain horrible, delivered in this way. I'd love to know your thoughts. People died, and you are using it as a political football, but more than a political football, you're basically attacking everyone who isn't perfect. He even said that the people that are hired should be geniuses. Right? Think about that for a moment. Stephen Hawking would not have made his list of being a genius. Stephen Hawking was severely disabled, had to talk through a machine, couldn't move, and yet he was a genius. He wouldn't have made the grade for Donald Trump. And I've never heard anything in my life as bad as what I've heard today. I think it's the worst thing. It's very, very much in line with the way Adolf Hitler would speak. I'm speechless, to be honest, even though I'm speaking, but I wonder how anyone feels today. Please go back and listen. And I think you'll be extremely surprised at what was said. When the press asked him about it, why are you blaming diversification when we don't even know what caused the plane, what caused the crash? It could have been the helicopter pilot committed suicide, or the helicopter pilot couldn't steer, or had a heart attack, or whatever. But no, nothing to do with the plane, nothing to do with the helicopter. Has to do with the Obama, and it has to do with Biden, who made sure that people who are not perfect, who aren't geniuses, are running, controlling the airplanes, from the control centers. Wow. What do you feel about that? I felt, and I'm actually diluting it. I'm considering every word I'm saying here to trying to dilute it. But to me, it seems that entire presentation was completely unproductive, didn't solve anything, but what it did do is fire up a lot of people and put anger, put bad feeling towards fellow man across America. I'm angry and upset, and I'm from Britain. It's not my president, but I am a green card holder, soon to have apply for citizenship. But I tell you what, that was terrible. I've never heard anything so disgusting in my life. It was awful. You need to go and listen to it. If you've not listened to it, you probably should. That's all I have to say on that, really. I think it was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. One of the worst speeches ever given by anybody, at least of all a president. Let me bring up your comments here. Let me see if there's anything you wish to that you wish to add. Let me have a look. I'll answer all comments and questions. Everyone here is free to share their thoughts. I'd like to see what everybody has to say. Let's have a quick look. Let's have a look. Let's go through the comments here. We got anyone that had anything to say? Okay. The plane was on track. The helicopter was not. That is correct. It's very sad. It's really the same rip to everyone who passed away, says Lestin. I purchased more on space yesterday. It's a buying opportunity. Thank you, Tim. Fully agree, Martyn. I was personally disgusted when I watched it here in the UK. I think probably it requires me to share with you what I just saw. I think some of you aren't fully aware of it, so I think I should probably do that. Let me just, where do I go for history? I just watched it a few moments ago, and let me have a look. I think this is it here. Is this it here? Okay. I'll do this. It's so important. I think it needs to be shown. So let's do that then. Here we go.
In an hour of anguish for our nation, just before 9 p.m. last night, an American Airlines regional jet carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew collided
all of this
with an
is
Army
very
Black
respectful.
Hawk
All of this is
helicopter
great.
carrying 3
What you'd
military
expect,
service
right?
members over the Potomac River in Washington, D.C., while on final approach to Reagan National Airport. Both aircraft crashed instantly and were immediately submerged into the icy waters of the Potomac. Real tragedy. The massive search and rescue mission was underway throughout the night, leveraging every asset at our disposal, and I have to say the local, state, federal, military, including the United States Coast Guard in particular, they've done a phenomenal job. So quick, so fast, it was mobilized immediately. The work has now shifted to a recovery mission. Sadly, there are no survivors. This was a dark and excruciating night in our nation's capital and in our nation's history, and a tragedy of terrible proportions. As one nation, we grieve for every precious soul that has been taken from us so suddenly, and we are a country of really, we are in mourning. This has really shaken a lot of people, including people, very sadly, from other nations who were on the flight. For the family members back in Wichita, Kansas, here in Washington, D.C., and throughout the United States and in Russia, we have a Russia contingent, some very talented people. Unfortunately, were on that plane. Very, very, very sorry about that. Whose loved ones were aboard the passenger jet. We can only begin to imagine the agony that...
Let me just pause it there for a moment, because we are now getting uninformed, uneducated buffoons in the show today, and this is exactly what I knew was going to happen. Doug, who I'm going to ban again, give him another timeout. We must remember Martyn's speeches that he hails from a country where free speech gets people thrown in jail. I feel I'm watching the BBC right now. Doug, you are an absolute buffoon. What are you talking about? That is completely false. You do not get thrown in jail living in England if you use free speech. I am going to hide you from the channel now. I've warned you several times, and quite frankly, you are just just an idiot.
You're all feeling nothing worse. On behalf of the First Lady, myself, and 340 million Americans, our hearts are shattered alongside yours, and our prayers are with you now and in the days to come. We'll be working very, very diligently in the days to come. We're here for you to wipe away the tears and to offer you our devotion, our love, and our support. There's great support. In moments like this,
all of this is very respectful, very nice, fantastic he came out. It really is. Nothing wrong with this. Very respectful, full support here.
Differences between Americans fade to nothing compared to the bonds of affection and loyalty that unite us all, both as Americans and even as nations. We are one family, and today we are all heartbroken. We're all searching for answers. That icy Potomac, it was a cold, cold night, cold water. We're all overcome with the grief for many who have so tragically perished, will no longer be with us. Together we take solace in the knowledge that their journey ended not in the cold waters of the Potomac, but in the warm embrace of a loving God. We do not know what led to this crash, but we have some very strong opinions and ideas, and I think we'll probably state those opinions now.
Right. So far, everything wonderful, right? Respectful, wonderful. Nothing wrong with any of that. However, you shouldn't be expressing opinions at all. Even the authorities who are trained to do this, appointed by the president, the Congress, the government, they are not expressing opinions until they've done research. But look what happens next.
Because over the years I've watched as things like this happen, and they say, well, we're always investigating, and then the investigation 3 years later, they announce it. We think we have some pretty good ideas.
Let me explain what that is. Very often airlines do take years to investigate because it can take years. If you've ever followed documentaries and serious journalism into disasters, they can spend months going backwards and forwards doing scientific experiments on a simple screw that came out of the fuselage. The information has to get checked, verified, go backwards and forwards. These are not comic book simple things to do. They are complex things. They take time. You can't just make up an answer in 5 minutes. There's nothing wrong about it taking time, and to say you're going to get an answer in 5 minutes really isn't a great idea.
But we'll find out how this disaster occurred, and we'll ensure that nothing like this ever happens again. The FAA and the NTSB and the U.S. military will be carrying out a systematic and comprehensive investigation. Our new Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, his second day on the job when that happened. It's a rough one. We'll be working tirelessly. He's a great gentleman. The whole group these are great people, and they are working tirelessly to figure out exactly what happened. We will state certain opinions, however. I'm also immediately appointing an acting commissioner to the FAA, Christopher Rocheleau, a 22-year veteran of the agency, highly respected. Christopher, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We must have only the highest standards for those who work in our aviation system. I changed the Obama standards from very mediocre at best to extraordinary.
Okay. So straight away, we don't know anything about the crash, and we've gone straight to we need the best people working there. So hang on, what's going on? We don't know what's going on, but we're going to blame the people that work there, and that was because of the previous governments. And then you put in better people, and then the good people got thrown out. That's some nonsense. You can't put everybody in, then everybody out, and then everybody back in again. As if that is the answer. You don't even know what caused the accident yet.
You remember that only the highest aptitude, they have to be the highest intellect and psychologically superior people were allowed to qualify for air traffic controllers. That was not so prior to getting there. When I arrived in 2016,
Think about it. He's saying, because he wants to blame somebody, he's saying that the air traffic controllers, because of the previous government, right? They're not good enough. They're all, as you will hear in a minute, because they are of different race and color, and because of an arm or a leg, or maybe they're gay or lesbian or whatever it might be, they're not good enough. What about the pilot? Is the pilot not? Does it matter what the pilot is? I mean, does it matter about the helicopter pilot? They're not important. It's all to do with the things that happened because of a previous government. Think how bad this is. People have just died. But it's not just about trying to find a blame, to blame somebody, even though it's got nothing to do with what happened. It's the fact you are now attacking millions of people that aren't perfect. Think, if you know your history, you know where I'm going with this. I'm not making this up. You're witnessing it for yourself.
That changed very early on, because I always felt this was a job that, and other jobs too, but this was a job that had to be superior intelligence, and we didn't really have that, and we had it. And then when I left office and Biden took over, he changed them back to lower than ever before. I put safety first.
I checked that, by the way. I fact-checked that. When he came in, people didn't suddenly get employed at the air control and then got fired and then got brought back in again. That's not what happens at all. It's all to do with the people that you are allowed to employ. You want to employ more people, and I'm not saying you should employ people who aren't good at what they do just because of their disability, or just because of their gender, or just because of anything else. But to suggest they were good people, then they were rubbish, then they were good people, this is just unbelievable.
Obama, Biden, and the Democrats put policy first, and they put politics at a level that nobody's ever seen, because this was the lowest level. Their policy was horrible, and their politics was even worse. So as you know, last week, long before the crash, I signed an executive order restoring our highest standards for air traffic controllers and other important jobs throughout the country. So it was very interesting. About a week ago, almost upon entering office, I signed something last week that was an executive order, very powerful, on restoring the highest standards of air traffic controllers, and others, by the way. Then my administration will set the highest possible bar for aviation safety. We have to have our smartest people. It doesn't matter what they look like, how they speak, who they are. It matters intellect, talent, the word talent. They have to be talented, naturally talented geniuses. You can't have regular people doing that job. They won't be able to do it.
But how do we know that the people working there weren't geniuses? I mean, how many people are geniuses? I would love to do the maths on that anyway. But at the end of the day, I'm speechless. It gets worse.
But we'll restore faith in American air travel. I'll have more to say about that. I do want to point out that various articles that appeared prior to my entering office, and here's one. The FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disability.
Oh dear. Just remember, folks, there's no information, knowledge, anything at all to suggest anything to do with anything with the crash. Professionals are investigating the crash as we stand here right now, and Donald Trump is talking to the world, using it as a political football to blame previous governments. I mean, he's in power. What is the point? And even if for some reason they were right, we don't know what caused the accident. It could be anything, and yet you're using this as a political football. And basically, anyone with disabilities or anything else is just a lower class person and shouldn't be involved in you're not a genius. And I am so tired already. It's only been like a week. Can anyone believe this? The world's gone to flipping. The world's gone nuts. This is how we run a country.
That is amazing. And then it says FAA says people with severe disabilities are most underrepresented segment of the workforce, and they want them in, and they want them, they can be air traffic controllers. I don't think so. This was in January 14th, so that was a week before I entered office. They put a big push to put diversity.
Okay, I want to keep bringing everybody in. This is the sort of thing I mean. Florida boy. Somebody failed, he's not lying. What's the problem? Please think about what you're saying, Florida boy 3590. People have just died. This is the President of the United States. What you're supposed to do as an intelligent person is investigate, go through the processes, come to conclusions, and present your evidence, and then we have the conclusion of what actually happened. He's not telling you what happened. Please think about what's being said to you right now. What's the problem? He's not lying. It's okay. What do you mean? Somebody failed. Of course somebody failed, or something, or a piece of equipment. We don't know anything. The point isn't there was a problem. We agree with you. Somebody failed or something failed. He's not lying. No, he's not lying, telling you that there were diversity policies in place. That's not lying. I agree with you. That's not lying at all. But should that be the conversation we're having right now? It's got nothing to do with it. We don't know what caused the accident, and he's using it as a political football to bash the previous government. He's in power anyway. He doesn't even need to do that. Think about the poor families and the people. We shouldn't be using this as a football, and also is insulting everybody who's not a perfect person in America, who's not a genius. Now, come on. Surely you understand that. He's not lying. What's the problem? So basically, he can say anything. People die, and he can go, well, the color of my car is blue. That's not lying. What's that got to do with the conversation? Nothing. Well, it's not lying. According to Florida boy, it's perfectly fine. He's not lying. What's the problem? This shouldn't even be the topic of conversation. That's the problem. And it's an insult to say if you're not perfect, you shouldn't be working at the you shouldn't be working as an airline controller. Think about what you're saying for a minute.
Into the FAA's program. Then another article, the Federal Aviation Administration, this was before I got to office, recently, second term. The FAA is actively recruiting workers who suffer severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative spelled out on the agency's website. Can you imagine?
I want to just comment to this. Bunga bunga. This smacks of Germany in the 1930s. Please, please open your mind and listen. I have studied history. I know a great deal about Adolf Hitler. I know a great deal about the Second World War and the First World War. I'm not trying to sell videos. This isn't even the topic of this video. I'm not even going to put this out as a video. I'm having a conversation today. So this isn't to get me any views or subscribers or make any money, but please understand. I think someone mentioned at the beginning, oh, here we go, the Adolf Hitler thing again, like it's some kind of, stupid conversation. Understand how this works. When Adolf Hitler, and we're not comparing Trump to Adolf Hitler, by the way, I'm just simply saying, because someone mentioned this reminds me of the 1930s, all right? Let me explain. When Adolf Hitler addressed people at dinner and events and conferences, right, he wasn't always shouting and being offensive and rude. That came much later when they had the Holocaust. Then it was rah, 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 kill everybody. It didn't start out like that, right? If you'd ever read anything about Adolf Hitler, he was regarded as a real gentleman. When you would sit down and have a wonderful meal with him, people would sit down and talk to him and think he was the greatest man in the world, very generous and giving and all the rest of it. So let's not misunderstand what we're talking about here right now. tyrants don't come out and say, I'm going to kill everybody until the end, like in the Holocaust. So you are right. This does sound like the 1930s. It does. You're absolutely right. But for those of you that don't understand the argument, who just want to like make it very comic book and very uneducated, it's not all black and white, you know? So when you watch a black and white movie and you find a clip of Adolf Hitler going, rah, 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 that's nothing like Donald Trump. It's not what we're saying. It doesn't work like that.
The people that are, actually their lives are shortened because of the stress that they have. Brilliant people have to be in those positions, and their lives are actually shortened, very substantially shortened because of the stress, where you have many, many planes coming into one target, and you need a very special talent and a very special genius to be able to do it. Targeted disabilities are those disabilities that the federal government, as a matter of policy, has identified for special emphasis in recruitment and hiring. The FAA's website states they include hearing, vision, missing extremities, partial paralysis, complete paralysis, epilepsy, severe intellectual disability.
Do I need to comment? So people working at there, some haven't got arms, some haven't got legs, some have got this. They shouldn't be there. Stephen Hawking was a genius, a real genius, and he couldn't walk. He was a paraplegic. I forget the term. Sorry, I apologize. But he was restrained to a wheelchair. He couldn't move. He couldn't speak. He was a genius, Stephen Hawking. You heard that. I didn't make that up.
Disability, psychiatric disability, and dwarfism all qualify for the position of a controller of airplanes pouring into our country.
So basically, if you are really, really smart and you know how to run the computer and make decisions, but you've got no legs, you really shouldn't be in charge of planes. I'm not making this stuff up, folks. You're listening to him saying this.
Pouring into a little spot, a little dot on the map, a little runway. The initiative is part of the FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan. Think of that. The initiative is part of the FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan, which says diversity is integral to achieving FAA's mission of ensuring safe and efficient travel. I don't think so. I think it's just the opposite. The FAA website shows that the agency's guidance on diversity hiring were last updated on March 23rd of 22. They wanted to make it even more so. And then I came in, and I assume maybe this is the reason. The FAA, which is overseen by Secretary Pete Buttigieg, a real winner. That guy's a real winner. Do you know how badly everything's run since he's run this Department of Transportation?
Listen to this.
He's a disaster. He was a disaster as a mayor. He ran his city into the ground, and he's a disaster now. He's just got a good line of bullshit.
Now, some of you are going to go, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, does it? It's free speech, isn't it? President wants to say bullshit. That's fine. Really? That's okay with you? You can't have a job of responsibility if you've got no legs, one leg, one arm. You're a dwarf. He mentioned dwarfs. Wow. Are you not upset by this? I am absolutely upset. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of the way this world is going. Where's the respect? Where's people's understanding? You know, I'm just a regular guy, right? I'm just a regular guy. Married, straightforward. That's it. You know, I don't want any messing around either. I don't want any nonsense. I don't want a crazy world. But for God's sake, be a little bit respectful. Be a bit like just a nice person. Bloody hell. People have died and we're using it as a political argument. We're blaming something we don't even know what it is, but who cares? No one cares. I can say what I want. I can swear. I can be abusive. I can say you can't have any job that requires any intelligence if you're a dwarf, arms, legs. What is going on? This isn't some drunken idiot down the pub. This is the President of the United States.
The Department of Transportation, his government agency charged with regulating civil aviation. Well, he runs it, 45,000 people, and he's run it right into the ground with his diversity. So I had to say that it's terrible. Then it's a group within the FAA, another story, determined that the workforce was too white, that they had concerted efforts to get the administration to change that and to change it.
Too white. Why are you even saying that? Why are you even reading this out? What does this do? What does this achieve? People have just lost their family members. They're dead. He's going on about reading out documents that he's grabbed from somewhere. We don't know where yet. Doesn't even matter, does it? Make them up yourself. Mentioning the word too white. Why is the president even saying this? This is not important. This shouldn't even be a conversation. This is the sort of thing that goes on in a drunken brawl in the toilet with two idiots. This should just be an investigation into a plane crash. Not let's talk like this. If anyone is not disgusted by this, if anyone thinks that this is okay for a president to talk in this way, use these phrases, I'm sorry, I didn't want to do this today. And I can see no one's, a lot of people are going to unsubscribe from me, but I am completely impartial. I am so neutral when it comes to government, you can't even imagine. I'm not pro anybody. I'm just delivering news. But if I don't say anything and I don't get this off my chest, it's going to consume me. I have never in my life heard something so disgusting. I can't even understand what's happening with the world. This is beyond. This is the President of the United States, not a drunken hooligan in a toilet having a fight with someone.
Immediately, this was in the Obama administration just prior to my getting there, and we took care of African Americans, Hispanic Americans. We took care of everybody at levels that nobody's ever seen before. It's one of the reasons I won. But they actually came out with a directive, too white. And
celebrating why he won the election. Remember why we're here? We're talking about a plane crash. People have just died. Think of it. Your wife, your husband, your child died. We're investigating the crash. The reason why I won is because I'm everybody's friend. With too white in the sentence.
We want the people that are competent. But now we mourn and we pray and would like to ask all Americans to join me in a moment of silence as we ask God to watch over those who have lost their lives and bring comfort to the loved ones. And I just want to say God bless everyone in this room. This has been a terrible, very short period of time. We'll get to the bottom of it. So we all saw the same thing. We've seen it many times. I've had the honor of hearing tapes. Tapes are scary, very scary tapes. You had a airliner coming in, American Airlines. He was doing everything right. He was on track. He was the same track as...
Look, we're not 5 years of age. Look, I've got someone saying this. Maybe you can look up Biden using the hard R word. I don't even know what that is. What does the R word is? To shame the black mayor. Look, this is not tit for tat. This isn't, it's okay, he can say that. Well, let's have a look what the other guy said 5 years ago. How old are we? Are we children in a playground poking fun at each other? People have just died, an investigation is taking place, and this is what we get. Anyone who thinks this is okay, who's perfectly fine with this, who thinks this is absolutely fine, I'm sorry, you need to look in the mirror. If you think this is good, I don't know what to say. I really don't. It breaks my heart that we are having this conversation.
As everybody else that came in, it's probably the same track as they've had for 25 years or more. He's coming in the path. And for some reason, He had a helicopter that was at the same height, obviously when they hit, but pretty much the same height, and going at an angle that was unbelievably bad. When the air traffic controller said, "Do you see?" He was talking about, "Do you see him?" But there was very little time left when that was stated. And then also he said, "Follow him in," and then almost immediately.
Okay, I'm going to end it here. I will just go on and tell you in a few moments, the press asks questions. What is the evidence? It's got anything to do with inclusion, diversity, and there isn't any at all. It's just a rant. Let me be absolutely clear, because Mike says, who said Martyn is dividing? Politics is. This isn't politics, Mike. This isn't politics, Mike. We can't just use an excuse and say it's politics. We shouldn't talk about it. This is just common human decency and intelligence. What we've just witnessed, and I'm not going to put a video out on it. I'm not going to try and sell it as a video with a picture of Donald Trump on it and me all with a sad face. I just had to have this conversation because you are the people that I talk to. You are the people that I talk to every day. And if you unsubscribe to me for this, then you do. What we've just witnessed is despicable, disgusting. And I'm not proud to be in America today. I'm not proud of that. That doesn't represent me. I don't think that represents anybody. I think that is, I find that deeply offensive, deeply disgusting. And I want to be clear. I'm just a regular guy. I'm not someone running around with a flag trying to promote some cause. I'm just me. A bloke married to Leah. That's it. That's all I am. Not political in any way. Not trying to score points. Not on anyone's minority side trying to wave a flag or somebody up this or somebody down that. Just a regular, normal guy who just witnessed a despicable act of ego, arrogance, ignorance, stupidity, and every other thing in between. I'm sorry if you didn't get it. I'm sorry if you didn't understand it. I'm sorry if you'd rather go, well, the other guy said this. That's what we heard. That's what happened. I feel terribly sorry for the people today who lost their families when they tuned in, and that's what the president said. Anyway, getting back to why we started, there's no question about it. Virgin Galactic is pumping today. It has gained momentum. There is no issue there. There is no doubt about it. In fact, we're just about to go past average volume. So it's interesting that we don't have that much volume yet, but it's all been buying, not selling. If only we had a bit more volume, this would take off. Anyway, let's see how this comments does to people. How is Seattle looking right now? When I walk through, I'm not sure. The hell's that got to do with it? Why when people can't win an argument, they just, well, have you seen it over here? It's rubbish. That's not how to solve an issue. Solving an issue isn't, well, it's rubbish over here, so it can be rubbish over here, can it? What the hell is that? Why do people do that? The whole situation is shady, dirty, shameful, and sad all the way around. Yes, it is. You're right. You are right, Martyn. This situation should not be politicized. This is what has happened for years now by both parties, here and abroad. It's very sad. I agree. I'm glad, Saab, you can understand what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be on any... I couldn't care less. Quite frankly, I couldn't care less who wins an election. Honestly, because I'm in charge of my life and I build my own world. Honestly, that's what I think. I couldn't care less who wins. I do what's right. I take care of my family. I take care of you. I do what's right. That's it. I don't need to be told what's right. We all know what's right if our brain works. So I don't care who wins. I'm not in any political thing. Are you doing Apple? Yes. We're doing the Apple earnings right now. The comments made you tell me... the comments made you... I didn't say that at all. I didn't say that. I agree with Martyn, but this is dumb. I don't like you, Cedar, and you don't like me, so be it. Okay. So have some tea. Okay, what's going on here? Okay. Okay, I won't get into all of that. I had to have this conversation because you're my family. This is who I talk to, right? I'm here all day. You're my audience. I talk to you. You talk to me. But there we go. We've said it. We've done it. Quite frankly now, I don't want to hear any more from the president anymore for the next 4 years. I've switched off now. And I think a lot of people will go, do you know what? I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear it anymore. Healthy debate, pointless. Pointless having a healthy debate. We're not having a healthy debate. We're just talking nonsense. So I'm done with that. Let's get back to making money. Let's get off the politics. If this is what it is, let's focus on Apple earnings and do that. So Apple earnings. Let's get to it. Let's get back to making money. Making money is easy. Remember, the hard part is to keep it. My portfolio is up, not breaking all-time highs, but getting pretty close. Let's go. Let's go over to the Apple earnings. It starts in a few minutes. The call's not for half an hour yet, so we're nice and early. There is the link. I need a cup of tea. I need to go for a walk. I'll go for a walk tonight after the show. I'll go for a walk after the earnings. So AAPL earnings live now. I'm fuming. I'm so disappointed. I feel poisoned by it. I don't want it in my life. I don't ever want to hear another word from the president after that. Just not interested. Because that's just horrible. Who wants to listen to anybody who talks like that? I don't. Right. So anyway, I'm done with it. I'm now going to focus back on with the show every day, and I don't give a damn what is going on in politics now, because that isn't politics. That's just ignorance and horribleness. I don't want it. So Apple earnings. If anyone's interested and wants to join me for that, go for a walk for sure, Martyn. Me as well. Yes. See how he causes decession. Yes. Yes, exactly. People switching off, going, I don't want anything to do it anymore. I don't own as much S&P as Martyn. I like that. Right. Okay. That's good. Okay. We're going to go over to Apple earnings, and we're going to focus on earnings. We're going to focus on a real company, and we're going to focus on business, making money for our pensions, having a good, healthy conversation. And it's a sad day, but the president of the United States has made me go, stuff it. I don't want to know. I'm done with you. And I think that's horrible, because I was kind of interested. Now it's like, forget it. All right, join me for the Apple earnings. Here's the Apple earnings. There it is. And yeah, honestly, I just don't think I'd ever want to see it again. Right, that's real true, that. All he has done is down the drain now. All he has done is down the drain now, Matt Dillon. Yeah, laughing is the best medicine. I agree. We all need a cup of tea. Right, let's go and do earnings. Oops, hang on. I'm breaking it all. Don't mean that one. Let's go and do the earnings. See you back in a minute. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the healthy conversation. 99% of you. Let's go and do some earnings. Oh, take care of yourselves and each other.